The last time someone called a human an ancient weapon, they ended up wiping out an entire species by accident. Commander Grail stood on the bridge of the Ulian starship Indomitable, its sleek form cutting through the void of space with effortless grace. The crew, a motley assembly of the galaxy's finest warriors, scientists, and strategists, worked in disciplined silence. Grail's many eyes scanned the star map projected in front of him, each cluster of lights representing systems they had conquered or destroyed in their relentless quest for dominance. Yet this mission was unlike any he had undertaken before. The Ulian High Council had summoned him in a rare display of urgency, their collective minds united on a single purpose: to find and retrieve the ancient weapon known as human. Grail had dismissed the legends as myth for most of his life. Every Ulian child grew up hearing stories of humans, the apex predators of a forgotten age, capable of bending nature to their will and forging tools of destruction so fearsome they could tear entire worlds apart. Yet for all their might, they had vanished. Some said they had ascended to a higher plane of existence, others whispered they had destroyed themselves. Whatever the truth, the Council believed they were real, and that they had originated from a long-abandoned sector known as Terrara. "Commander, we are approaching the coordinates," reported Lieutenant Vorin, his scales shimmering under the dim control panel lights. His tone carried a hint of unease, a rare lapse for the usually stoic officer. "Prepare for emergence," Grail ordered, his voice measured, "and keep the weapon systems on standby. We don't know what awaits us." The Indomitable exited hyperspace with a hum, revealing a small, unassuming yellow star surrounded by a handful of rocky planets. The third planet in orbit, covered in a patchwork of blue and green, was their destination, Earth. "Scans indicate minimal technological activity," reported scientist CR, his elongated fingers dancing over the console. "Primitive satellite networks. No significant energy readings. It appears to be a pre-interstellar society, just as the legend said," Grail muttered, leaning closer to the star map. The planet looked deceptively serene, its swirling white clouds and glistening oceans masking the ominous tales that surrounded it. "Commander," Vorin interjected, his voice low, "if this world truly birthed the humans, then why does it appear so unremarkable?" Grail didn't answer immediately. Instead, he turned to Crossing. "Prepare a landing party. We'll see for ourselves." The shuttle descended through the atmosphere with a roar, streaking across the sky like a falling star. They landed in a secluded area of a major landmass, the shuttle's thrusters scorching the forest floor. As the ramp lowered, Grail, Vorin, CR, and a small contingent of soldiers stepped onto the surface. The planet's air was thick with oxygen, rich and heady compared to the filtered atmosphere aboard the ship. Around them stretched a vast forest, trees towering high with foliage so dense it nearly blotted out the sky. The chirping of unseen creatures echoed through the air, accompanied by the rustle of leaves in the wind. "Spread out," Grail commanded. "Look for any signs of this human weapon." The soldiers fanned out, their movements precise, weapons at the ready. Hours passed as they combed through the forest, but they found little beyond traces of primitive wildlife and the occasional weathered ruin. Frustration began to set in among the team. "This planet is a graveyard," one soldier muttered. "If the humans were here, they're long gone." "Commander, over here!" Vorin's voice cut through the air, urgent and sharp. Grail and the others hurried to his location. Vorin stood at the edge of a clearing, his eyes fixed on a massive stone structure partially overgrown with vegetation. Its architecture was unlike anything the Ulians had seen before. Angular and imposing, yet weathered by time. "Is this their fortress?" CR wondered aloud, scanning the structure with his equipment. "Possibly," Grail replied. "Or it could be a temple. Either way, we might find answers inside." The team approached cautiously, weapons drawn. The entrance to the structure was flanked by two crumbling statues of humanoid figures, their expressions both solemn and defiant. As they stepped inside, the air grew cooler, the light dimmer. The walls were adorned with strange symbols and murals, many depicting humans engaged in activities that ranged from the mundane to the extraordinary. Farming, building, fighting. One mural, in particular, caught Grail's attention. "Look at this," CR said, pointing to the image. "It shows humans wielding weapons of incredible power, their bodies surrounded by flames. Yet they remain unharmed." "Is this meant to intimidate?" Vorin asked, tracing a claw over the image. "Perhaps," Grail replied, "but we need More than art to go on. There must be a record somewhere. Deeper into the structure, they discovered a large chamber that appeared to be a repository of knowledge. Ancient texts filled the shelves, and strange devices hummed faintly with power, defying their apparent age. CR activated one of the devices, and a holographic projection illuminated the room. A human figure appeared, dressed in simple clothing, their expression calm yet commanding. "Greetings, travelers," the figure said. "I am Archist Evans. If you are seeing this, it means that you seek the knowledge of our people. Be warned, the power of the humans is not to be taken lightly. Our history is filled with both great achievements and devastating mistakes." The projection shifted, displaying scenes of human history. Massive cities rising from the earth, wars waged on an apocalyptic scale, and vessels exploring the stars. "Humans are resilient," the Archist continued. "Our strength lies not in our technology, but in our nature. We adapt, we endure, and when pushed to the brink, we unleash the full force of our potential, for better or worse. To wield the power of humanity is to walk a fine line between creation and destruction." The projection faded, leaving the room in silence. "Commander," CR said, his voice hushed, "this isn't a weapon. It's a warning, or a challenge," Vorn countered, his tone tinged with awe. "If the humans truly possessed this kind of power, then they would be the galaxy's greatest ally, or its most formidable enemy," Grail finished. As they left the chamber, a quiet tension settled over the group. Grail couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of something monumental. The humans weren't just warriors or inventors. They were a force of nature, capable of reshaping entire civilizations. Back aboard the Indomitable, Grail stood alone on the bridge, staring at the projection of Earth on the star map. "Prepare the next phase of the mission," he said to no one in particular. "We need to find an actual human, because the truth was undeniable. The weapon they saw, it wasn't a device or a machine. It was a living, breathing being, if any of them still existed. And if they did, the galaxy would never be the same again."